Hey there! Quick update on my eyeshadow panning project. I have hit pan in 2 shades this month. They are right here. So the first shade is Ube from Luxie Beauty. It is like a pink purple. I find that this looks like a purple blue in the pan, but then on my eyes I see a lot of pink. I hit pan after using it 7 times in this project. I didn't have to use either of these very many times to hit pan. Part of that is that I'd already used them several times prior to bringing them into the project. The second piece is these are kind of a loose pressed shadow, and they're, I think, intended to be more like toppers. I tend to use them though as like full on lid shades, so I will usually put like 2 coats of eyeshadow on. Feels weird to describe it as 2 coats, but I think you understand what I mean. I'll put a layer on and then I will come back with another layer and or apply them wet. So I'm using quite a bit each time I use these shades. So 7 uses to hit pan on that one. And then this is also from Luxie Beauty. This is the shade Adonis. I think I might actually have a second pan of Adonis. There were a couple of shades because I made, I think, 2 or 3 different purchases on Luxie Beauty. There were maybe 2 or 3 shades that I accidentally bought duplicates of because, I was looking over what I had, but I was just looking at the shades, not checking names, and they didn't look exactly, at least to my eyes, how they looked online in the palette. So, anyway, that was not the point. I only had to use this 4 times to hit pan. I think I only used it once since the last video, but it's a really pretty shade, and quite glad to have gotten my use on both of those. So let's go over the other 10 shades that I've been working on, and then I'll talk about the 2 that I will be bringing in this month. So here is the palette that I've got. I believe that I brought this shade, which is White Sands from Luxie, in last month. I have used it 7 times so far. I also brought in Luxie Skyflower, which I've used 3 times. The last shade I brought in last month was Salted Caramel, again from Luxie. About half of the single shadows that I own are from Luxie Beauty, so a lot of this project involves those. This is Salted Caramel, if I didn't say the name, and I've used it 6 times in the past month. Now for the shades that have been in here for a while, we're starting out with yet another Luxie shade. I actually don't remember what this one's called. Sweet Tooth. It's like a white with quite a bit of pink shine and a little bit of pink glitter in it. I've used this 8 times overall. We have Foxy Lady from Luxie, which is a beautiful neutral that I've used 5 times. We have this terracotta shade from Sydney Grace called Time to Celebrate. This is a matte. I have used it 21 times. We have a Glass Bowl from ColourPop. I'm actually making pretty good progress on this one. I think you can tell there is a definite indent in that product. I have used this 10 times. This Copacetic Cosmetics pink shade, Contemplate, is probably the shade that I will hit pan in next. I think you can tell that there's a really obvious, essentially a pit in that product. I don't know how much deeper I will need to go to hit pan, but I can't imagine it's very far. I have used this 17 times. This light brown from Sydney Grace is, I really should have written these names down. This is Bonfire. I have used this 23 times, and I haven't used very much product because most of the time when I use this, I use it to fill in my eyebrows. I've not been as into that this month as I was last month, so I think my usage has definitely slowed down, but still, 23 uses is pretty good. And then the deepest shade in here is, again from Sydney Grace. This is the shade Simplicity, and I've only worn that 3 times. I feel like I've probably worn it more, but I've only at least recorded 3 times. So that is where we are on the shades that I've had in for a while. I am rolling 2 new shades in today. The first is from Wet n Wild. I actually have no idea what this shade is called. I had a Wet n Wild 36 pan, 40 pan eyeshadow palette. I depotted some of those shades, the ones that I thought I would really enjoy using in the future, and this is one of those shades. It's like a deep purple with some shimmer to it. I don't think that I will need to use this too many times to hit pan, and I don't know that I'll keep it around after I hit pan. It's really deep, has a nice little bit of shine to it. I don't know. We'll see. This is something that I've just never gotten great use out of. So I would like to see pan, and then I can make some decisions about whether I see myself getting good use out of it in the future or not. And then last but certainly not least, we return yet again to Luxie Beauty, and I will be working on the shade Glasswing, which is a pink. And let me swatch this. These Luxie Beauty shades all have, well, at least a lot of the ones that I have quite a bit of shift to them. So this is looking pink to gold in the monitor. In person, I'm seeing like a purple, even a little bit of blue in there. I'm mostly seeing pinky purple. It looks like you're mostly seeing pink. I'm not sure how it'll look on my eyes from day to day. I know that I've worn this several times, but I just can't remember what it ends up performing as on the eye. I think it's mainly a pink, but I couldn't swear to that. And here is what the palette I will be working on looks like. We're going pretty neutral to a little bit pink. I think these look great for spring. I also think they will work pretty well with my palette of the month, which this month is the Natasha Denona Retro Glam. I feel like these will play nicely with some of the pinks and the sage greens that are in there. So I'll look forward to doing some looks that mix this palette and that Retro Glam. I think it'll be really pretty. Anyway, I think that about wraps things up. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please consider liking and subscribing if you did, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye guys!